Moses and Patricia Mawa have been married more than 10 years and have 3 children. The success of their company, Silver Trust Media, has afforded them the chance to give their children opportunities they didn't have when they arrived in Canada.
The interesting thing is that when I took the flight from Nairobi in Kenya, because that's where I actually came directly from to Canada, when I arrived in the country, I had only $20 in my pocket. And with $20, obviously, you can't do much. And I was lucky because I met a couple of individuals who, one of them was actually Senator Donald Oliver. He was a member of the Senate of Canada, who basically helped me out, gave me his business card and sent me to Royal Bank, you know, one of the managers there, who then enrolled me into a program that was actually for young entrepreneurs, you know. So that's how I decided to actually register my business. I got my first, you know, bank account for the business, you know, with a bank, and got some sort of financing. Not much at the time, just $3,000, you know, plus my $20 that I brought from Africa. You know, so I guess $3,020, right? And that's what has actually grown to where it is, you know, at the moment.
The first time we sent a demo to a few stations, everybody said no. But we didn't give up. So we went back and said, okay, no means we don't like it, or we want it differently, or not now.
I think one of the reasons why we were denied initially the opportunity to launch a television program that would serve the interests of the African diaspora was the fact that the expectation was rather low in regards to businesses and organizations and so on who would be there to advertise on the program. So what we did was to really research and identify the right kinds of you know, potential advertisers or sponsors, and thankfully so many of them came actually on board, and even ahead of time, you know, committed to advertising. We got lawyers and people who owned, you know, community stores, and so many other professionals also. The other thing that we also got to do was to make sure that our television programs and eventually the publications that they were not just you know, programs that were limited to the specific continental African community, but to make it a little bit broader. And you know, that really helped also to get support from communities that are even outside, who actually saw that, okay, there's potential in regards to a market within the community and so much more.
I've heard so much about you.
Oh, you watch the show?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Well, we're here with your family. We're taking you to the salon to give you a nice hair. I think our story is a story of, you know, people who did not have too much. They say to he who much is given, much is expected. But us is the other way around. Not too much was given, but much is expected. And I think that's what makes a lot of people in Africa, you know, very, very unique, because not too much is given, but much is expected, and we deliver. You know, he came here with $20. I didn't come from a rich home, but we focused on where we're going, not where we came from. When we got married, at some point, we had to live in our car. None of our friends knew that we're going through this. We refused to take...
This is actually CNN breaking news.
We refused. We've never shared this. This is going to be a surprise to all our friends. Even my mother will be hearing this on CNN, that we lived in our car, newlyweds, living in a car. You know, we came from the nice hotel in Ottawa, had a wedding, but we had nowhere to live for a little bit after, you know, our wedding, and for some time. But we had an office. We had a nice office, because we knew that we were going somewhere, and this business was important, and we focused on the things that we needed to do. And there were times when we, you know, slept on that office floor and prayed together and came up with ideas that we knew was going to change the world. And I tell you, it's not where you are today that matters, it's where you're going. And I think that's what, you know, we should focus on. You know, the most important thing about our lives is that I think success is not doing one big thing. Success is doing a number of little things excellently. And all those little things that you do come together, and that's when you become successful. But if you're looking for that big break, I mean, when we were going through this, we could have lived in the government housing. We said no. When I left school, I was on welfare at some point, receiving government assistance. One day, you know, we just said, this government assistance is a distraction. Maybe if we knew that this money is not coming, we will work harder. So we just wrote to the government. I remember that my caseworker said, are you sure? Do you have a job now? I'm like, no. She said, why don't you continue taking the government assistance? We said no. We made up our minds that we will never receive government assistance, and we haven't. When business is tough, we won't say, oh, business is tough, maybe we should go back on welfare. No. We just find another way to make it work. And I think this is something that I think should inspire a lot of, especially immigrants out there. When you come into a country like Canada or the United States or you know, the UK, the government assistance is there, but it's a distraction if you ask me. If you knew that that money is not coming, you will find something to do. So I said to people out there, focus on where you're going and find the steps to get there. If the goal seems impossible, then change the way to get there. And that's what we've done over the years. We've come up with creative ideas to make things happen. And when you are focused on where you're going and you have faith in God and you have the tenacity and purpose, you will definitely get there.
After all of their hard work and sacrifices, the Mawas say they found it rewarding to see Planet Africa on the air. They weren't yet satisfied and had plans for so much more.